Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. You know how much we all love routines around here, and today we're diving deep into the routines of some pretty cool folks. Jennifer and Daniel from the English Leap podcast.
Yes.
They actually, they sat down with a vocabulary expert named Crystal and kind of walked through their daily schedules.
So cool.
And I thought, you know what? This is perfect for you guys, right? Like, who doesn't want to peek behind the curtain and see how other people are structuring their days?
Especially people who are, crushing it in their own craft.
Crushing it, exactly. So
Yeah.
Jennifer's a student. Daniel's got, a 9-to-5 kind of gig. But there are some really cool similarities and some interesting differences.
Yeah, and that's what I find so intriguing is how, even though they're coming from such different lifestyles, student life versus working professional life.
Exactly.
There's still so much overlap in terms of how they approach their day, which I think is a really cool thing to dissect.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump right into their mornings.
Okay.
All right, so Jennifer, she's up at 7 and pre now.
Early bird.
Eases into her day with some stretches, some breathing exercise.
Very zen.
Super zen.
Right.
Daniel, on the other hand, up a little earlier at 6:40.
Okay.
But his first move, hydration.
Oh, interesting.
So already we're seeing like a slow start versus kind of
Hit the ground running.
hit the ground running. Are
Yeah.
you a slow start or a hit the ground running?
Me personally, I'm more of a slow start kind of person.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see the benefits of, getting that hydration in first thing in the morning to kind of
Yeah.
jumpstart your system.
Totally. Okay, so we've got their wake up routines down.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
Well, this is where it gets interesting because they both, even though they start their days differently, they both prioritize that bathroom routine,
Of course.
brushing their teeth,
Yeah.
washing their faces.
Yeah.
It's like a universal reset button,
Oh, I like that.
like signaling to your body and your mind that, okay,
Fresh start.
fresh start, new day, let's go.
I wonder if there's something psychological to that,
I think there has to be.
Like, why is that so ingrained in us?
Right.
Maybe it's because our parents made us do it as kids.
Yeah, maybe it's just, years and years of conditioning. But
Yeah.
I do think it's really interesting how it kind of sets the tone for the day.
Totally. Okay, so they've reset their buttons.
Uh-huh.
They're ready to go.
Time for fuel.
Time for fuel. What are they eating?
All right, so Jennifer keeps it light oatmeal or toast.
I'm an oatmeal person myself, so
it's
I can get behind that.
simple but effective.
Totally. Daniel, a little more robust.
He's got
Love
like
you.
eggs toast,
Okay.
sometimes a smoothie. So
Okay. A little more protein packed.
yeah, a little more sustenance to kind of power through those,
Those meetings.
yeah,
The long day ahead.
those early mornings, right?
All right, so fueled up, but here's where things kind of go in different directions again.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer is all about planning her day,
Yes.
to-do list,
To have it
outlining what needs to get done,
organized.
while Daniel's checking his schedule, like what meetings do I have,
Mm.
what deadlines am I facing?
So interesting.
I mean, it makes sense given their
Yeah.
different kind of roles.
It totally does. And, it almost speaks to me like Jennifer's more of a planner,
Right.
right? Like she wants to control her day.
Yeah.
Whereas Daniel's more like, okay, what's coming out at me and how do I need to adapt?
Be ready for it.
Exactly.
Be really interesting.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said for both approaches,
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes you need that structure and that planning,
Yeah.
and other times you just got to be ready to roll with the punches.
I think it depends on your personality type too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like some people are just wired to be planners and some people are wired to be more
go with the flow.
go with the flow. Yeah.
Adaptable.
Now, I do want to kind of pause on that whole breakfast thing for a second
Okay, yeah.
because they both mentioned keeping it light.
Yes.
And I think that's really interesting.
What do you think that says?
Well, I think it says that they're mindful
Mindful, yeah.
of how food affects their energy levels.
Absolutely. Like they're not just
Right.
throwing anything in their bodies.
Not just grabbing a donut on the way out the door.
Exactly. They're thinking, okay, what's going to fuel me for the day?
Right.
What's going to give me sustained energy?
What's going to prevent that mid-morning slump?
That dreaded slump.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important consideration for everyone listening, because we often just think about breakfast as like,
It's got to get something in my stomach.
yeah, just something to eat.
Right.
But it really does set the tone for your whole day.
It sets the tone for your energy levels, for your focus.
Yeah, your mood even.
Absolutely.
So that light breakfast thing, I think that's a really valuable takeaway.
Definitely something to consider.
All right, so they're fueled up, they've got their plans, or they're ready to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
What about those afternoons?
Okay, so Jennifer's afternoons are all about studying.
Makes sense. She's a student.
Right.
Lots of books, lots of notes.
But she's smart about it.
How so?
She takes breaks.
Okay.
She stretches. She refreshes.
So she's recognizing that even mental stamina
Yes.
needs a boost.
Needs a break.
Now, Daniel's afternoons,
Yeah.
totally different beasts.
Right. Meetings, projects, deadlines.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards.
But guess what? He
Right.
also emphasizes those breaks.
He does.
It's almost like they're both saying,
Work hard, rest hard.
yeah.
Right.
And it's not even just about rest. It's about
It's about recharging.
recharging, yeah, and recognizing that you're not a machine.
Yeah.
You can't just go without
You burn out.
burning out.
Yeah.
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 And I love that they both kind of prioritize that.
Yeah. It's a reminder that taking breaks doesn't mean you're being lazy, right?
It actually means that you're being strategic with your time and your energy.
Working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
And I think that's a really important message
Absolutely.
for anyone who struggles with that guilt of like, oh, I should be working all the time.
Right. Like, you're not being productive if you're not constantly working.
But that's not true.
That's so not true.
Like, our brains need those breaks
they need those moments to kind of reset and recharge.
to process information, to come back with fresh eyes.
Absolutely. So those breaks are crucial.
And you know what else is crucial?
What's that?
Lunch.
Oh, yes, the midday fuel up.
And I think it's interesting that both Jennifer and Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
they keep it light and healthy,
They do. They're all about those salads, those sandwiches.
avoiding
That dreaded afternoon slump.
slump. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because who wants to be?
Nobody wants to be,
Falling asleep at their desk.
especially when you've got so much to do.
right.
And I think it's really interesting how they frame lunch not just as a meal, but as a strategic choice.
Yes.
Like they're really thinking about how this is going to affect.
Their energy levels, their productivity.
Yeah, and I think that's a really smart way to approach it.
It is.
Especially if you're someone who struggles with those afternoon slumps.
Absolutely.
So you've seen them power through their mornings, their afternoons. Now it's time to wind down in the evenings.
Okay.
How are Jennifer and Daniel spending those precious after-work hours?
So both of them prioritize relaxation, but they do it in slightly different ways.
Okay, I like this.
So Jennifer, she opts for walks or stretching,
Okay.
kind of getting that movement in,
Yeah,
but in a very low-key kind of way.
gentle way.
Gentle way, exactly.
Daniel, on the other hand,
Yeah.
he turns to music.
Oh, interesting.
Or guess what? More walks.
More walks.
More walks.
So he's getting that movement in too.
Yeah, so even though they're, kind of going about it in different ways,
They're both recognizing
that downtime is essential.
that downtime is essential. Yes.
Even with their busy schedules.
Yeah.
It's not an afterthought for them.
Right.
It's a necessity.
It's built in.
It's built in. And I think that's such an important lesson for all of us. In our always on culture, we often feel like we have to be productive all the time.
Guilty as charged.
Right. But these two are showing us that downtime is not just okay.
Yeah.
It's crucial for our well-being.
It's how we recharge. It's how we come back
Exactly.
stronger,
So I guess the question for you listening is,
Yes.
Are you giving yourself permission to truly unwind?
Are you scheduling in?
Are you scheduling in that relaxation time?
Yeah, because it's so easy to just let it get squeezed out
Oh, it's so easy.
by all the other things.
I have all the other demands on our to-do list.
Exactly.
Okay, so back to Jennifer and Daniel.
Right.
They're relaxed. They're unwound.
Mm-hmm.
What's for dinner?
Okay, so dinner, just like their other meals, is kept pretty simple.
Okay, I like this.
Pasta and veggies for Jennifer,
Okay.
salmon, or stir fry for Daniel.
Healthy.
Healthy.
Easy to make.
Easy to make.
No fuss.
No fuss.
I like it.
It's all about that balance, right?
Yeah.
Like fueling your body, but not spending hours in the kitchen.
Not making it a whole big thing.
That's right. And then back to the bathroom.
What is it about that bathroom?
It's that pre-bedtime hygiene routine.
Okay, so we've got bookends now.
Bookends, yes.
Morning bathroom routine.
Evening bathroom routine.
Love that.
It's like a signal to your brain,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay,
It's time to.
time to wind down, time to get ready for sleep.
Yeah, and I think that consistency is so powerful.
It is, because our brains crave those routines,
They do.
those signals.
So even small acts like brushing your teeth, washing your face can really help signal to your body.
That's time to relax.
Yeah, it's time to relax.
Time to let go of the day.
Time for sleep.
Daniel actually uses the phrase reset button
Oh, I like that.
to describe his evening routine. which I think is such a powerful metaphor
Yeah.
for closing one chapter
Closing one chapter.
and preparing for the
Or
next.
preparing for the next.
So it's not just about hygiene.
Right.
It's about consciously creating that transition
Love it.
from day to night.
All right, so they've brushed their teeth. They've washed their faces.
Mhm.
They're all set.
They're ready for bed.
What's the final step in their evening routine?
Well, you know how much we talk about sleep hygiene on this show.
We do.
And both Jennifer and Daniel.
Yeah.
They seem to really get it.
No, cats are.
They avoid screens before bed.
No late night scrolling.
No late night scrolling for these two.
Instead, they opt for.
Reading or music.
Oh, very calming.
Very calming.
And they aim for.
A 10 to 10.30 bedtime.
10 to 10.30. Wow.
Yeah, they're really prioritizing that sleep.
That's impressive.
It is. And, it makes me think about how often we sacrifice sleep
Oh, yeah.
in the name of productivity.
We're just life.
Life getting away.
Right, exactly. But they're showing us
Sleep is not a luxury.
it's essential
It's essential for our physical and mental health.
for our productivity.
Of everything.
And I love that they're so intentional about it.
Yeah, they're not just
Put their routines down.
hoping for the best. They're actively creating the conditions for a good night's sleep.
That's awesome.
It is. And it makes you think, what can we be doing
Mm-hmm.
to improve our own sleep hygiene?
Right.
Is it that screen-free hour before bed?
Yeah.
Is it incorporating a calming activity like reading or music?
Yeah.
What small changes can we make to really prioritize that rest?
Because it makes such a difference.
It does.
I know when I get a good night's sleep, I just feel
You feel like a new person,
like a new person. Yeah.
ready to take on the world?
I'm more productive. I'm in a better mood.
Absolutely.
It affects everything.
It really does.
So sleep hygiene, major takeaway.
Major takeaway.
So we've got these great routines, right? They've got it down to a science almost.
Yeah, they've really figured out what works for them.
But what's so cool is it's not this complicated,
Right.
overwhelming thing.
It's not a million steps.
Yeah, it's like a few
It's the essentials.
essentials, yeah.
And they're so simple.
And they're consistent.
Right. Like there's
Not like one day they're doing this and the next day
they're
they're
not jumping from one fad to the next.
Yeah, they found what worked
They've found their
and they're
groove.
sticking to it.
And I think that's key.
That's got to be part of it, right?
It's the
Oh,
consistency.
it's the consistency.
Yeah, that allows you to really reap the benefits.
And make it sustainable.
Exactly, because who has time
Right.
for a routine that's super complicated?
Nobody.
That takes hours out of your day.
So as we're kind of wrapping up our look at their routines,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what are some of the things that really stand out to you?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is that emphasis on breaks.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it with their afternoon schedules, but it seems like
It's a
it's
theme.
in throughout their whole day.
Yeah, and it's almost counterintuitive, right?
It is, because we're always told, like,
No, go.
hustle, hustle, hustle.
Be productive every second of the day.
But they're showing us that.
Rest is just as important.
Yeah, like rest is not the enemy of productivity.
It fuels productivity.
Yeah,
It allows you to come back to your work with fresh eyes,
refreshed and,
recharged,
recharged, yeah.
and ready to tackle those challenges.
So if you could borrow just one thing
Mm-hmm.
from Jennifer or Daniel's routines,
Yeah.
what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Would it be those breaks? Would it be that light and healthy lunch?
Yeah.
Would it be that consistent bedtime routine?
I think for me,
Yeah.
it would be that intentionality around breaks.
Yeah. I mean, I used to think breaks were like
A waste of time.
a waste of time. Yeah.
Like, I should be working all the time.
Like I should be ashamed
Right.
that I'm taking a break.
But seeing how Jennifer and Daniel incorporate them so seamlessly,
Yeah.
it's like a reminder that
It's okay.
it's not only okay,
It's beneficial.
it's necessary
Mm-hmm.
for optimal performance.
It's about working smarter,
Exactly.
not harder.
And sometimes working smarter means stepping away for a few minutes
Yeah.
to clear your head,
You go for a walk
to do something completely unrelated to work,
and come back.
refreshed and ready to go.
So I think that's a huge takeaway for me.
Yeah, and it's something that I'm actively working on in my own life.
Me too. Yeah.
Giving myself permission to take those breaks
Because it's so easy to get caught up
in the hustle.
in the hustle. Yeah.
And forget that.
Forget that our brains and our bodies,
They need that downtime
you need it. Yeah.
to function at their best.
So what about you listening?
Yeah. What resonated with you
What are you going to take away from
from Jennifer and Daniel's routines?
this deep dive?
Is it the breaks?
the healthy meal?
The consistent sleep schedule?
Think about it.
Think about what you can implement.
Even if it's just one small thing.
One small change
Because even small changes
can make a big difference.
can have a ripple effect
Absolutely.
on your overall well-being,
Productivity,
your happiness.
everything.
What can you weave into your routine?
Yeah, what little tweaks can you make?
Even if it's just one small change to start.
Just one thing to kind of experiment with.
Yeah, and you know what works for Jennifer and Daniel
Mm-hmm.
might not work for you.
Right. Everyone's different.
And that's okay.
Exactly. It's all about finding your own
Rhythm.
yeah, your own groove.
And a good routine.
Yeah.
It's not about restriction.
It's not about being rigid.
Yeah, it's about
It's about setting yourself up for success.
empowerment. Yeah.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
Imagine waking up
Yeah.
feeling energized,
Feeling focused.
focused, and in control of your day.
That sounds pretty good.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Imagine moving through your day
Mhm.
with purpose and ease,
Like you've got this.
like you've got this.
Yeah.
And then imagine ending your day
Yeah.
feeling satisfied and accomplished.
Ready for a good night's sleep.
That's the power of a good routine.
It really is. It's like a gift you give yourself.
It is.
It's that foundation for a more fulfilling and a more productive life.
So take what we've talked about today,
Yeah.
take inspiration from Jennifer and Daniel,
Take their insights.
and start building your own routine.
For success.
You got this.
You do.
We believe in you.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.